Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Sabres Reloaded, the video on the channel. If you're new here, topics within the organization. I wrote one out. This is a good one, I think, tonight. Guys, I'm going to go right back at it one more time, like I've done so many countless times on this channel. Our physical play is suffering, in my opinion. Guys, we're going to have to do something about our physical play. It's gotten to the point now that I believe when Granato gets fired, because folks, he will get fired. He will eventually get fired. When Granato gets fired, that will be his undoing, is how he just doesn't believe in a team, how a team should be physical when they have to be. He lets the boys, and they're not dazzling this year. And you know what? If we're not dazzling, then we look like a team that's doing nothing. Nothing can take us out of our seats more in hockey, I believe, guys, than a goal or a big hit on the ice. That's what gets the fans cheering in the crowd. That's what gets the blood going in our veins when we're watching games. And don't get me wrong, I love the physical game, but I also love scoring more. I do. But we need to have both, I believe, to win the Stanley Cup. We have talent. We have good young talent here. We have a good general manager who seems to know what he's doing, who does know what he's doing. But is he the type of GM that would have to sit Granato down and say, we have to make a coaching change? I don't know. Or would he wait till it costs both their jobs? I don't know. Really, I don't know, guys. But we need a coach that's going to scare the players into playing tough. They don't play tough. They don't play hard. And if you watch when Vegas won the Stanley Cup last year, you guys seen it. They were big and they were hitting. They would have killed Toronto in a series last year. Would have killed them. Toronto have all this high-end talent, but they would have got murdered in a series. I don't want to be Toronto 2.0, guys. I don't. I don't want to eventually have all this front-loaded talent on this team that we're getting at a good price, I might add, some of them. And then come playoff time, we're the type of team, when we become a playoff team, that every year we lose the first round because we went through this, guys. You Sabres fans know, back in the early 80s, you remember when Scotty built the team and we kept losing the first round every year. Remember that? Except the year we swept Montreal, 83. The youngest team in our history. We came one goal away from the Final Four. And that was it for the next 10 years till May Day. That was it. We couldn't get anything done in the playoffs, even with Scotty Bowman behind the bench. Guys, I'm telling you right now, we've got to get tougher or we're going to waste this whole era, which isn't a great era yet, don't get me wrong, but we will waste this whole era of maybe one of the youngest, most exciting teams in the league eventually, when they get their game together again, of not winning a Stanley Cup again. Because of our lack of physical play. We have to get the whole package to get it right. Look at the year Colorado won. What did I used to knock Colorado down years ago on this channel? I used to knock down Colorado because they were actually under the Sabres, and there was channels picking them to win the cup. I said, no chance. Not the worst. They were the worst hitting team in the NHL behind Buffalo at one time. There was no way, I didn't care how many games, I don't care if they had 50 wins. There's no way a soft team wins a Stanley Cup. Never. It'll never happen. Even Chicago, in their era, were one of the lowest hitting teams. They weren't a big hitting team, but come playoff time, guys like Duncan Keith and so on would get it together and get real mean come playoff time. You got to be able to turn it up a notch in the playoffs physically. If you can't, and we don't know yet what we have here, guys. We just don't know if the Sabres are going to have what it takes to be that kind of team in the playoffs. We don't know. Because we're not getting in every year. It would have been nice to see them last year as the worst hitting team in the league get in, just to see if they turned it up a notch or if they just thought they could actually get away with that. I don't know. Do they really think they can actually get away with not being physical in the playoffs? I don't know. If Granato thinks that, he's out of his mind, because It doesn't matter who's coaching the other team, we're losing. It doesn't matter. It could be any coach, and Granato's going to look like a fool because the other team's just going to come at us, smash us on the boards, and it'll be too late to turn any momentum around. We'll be down 3-0, and we're going to be like scratching our heads. What the hell happened to this year? Look, the reason I believe so far that we're struggling, guys, is lack of physical play. I think this is, and like I was telling you guys, we're higher when it comes to hitting this year. We're higher. We're not dead last. We're like 17th, 18th. We're right around where I want us to be, but not the amount of hits per game. We were averaging under 16 and under. It's not enough. No. If we were throwing 25 hits a night, we'd be harder to play against. We'd probably have more wins. This is one season I can say with a straight face that if we were hitting more, we would have more wins this year, the way this team is built. And I'll tell you what, it's a damn good thing we got Clifton, because as often as he makes mistakes, he is dominating the team in hits. Dominating compared to other guys. And there's nothing wrong with Dahlin and Samuelson with their amount of hitting. I don't want to like make it sound like they're not doing nothing, but I'll just run it down quick for you. Clifton in 17 games has 44 hits. Almost 3 a game. Samuelson in 16 games has 38. It's good. And Dahlin in 19 games has 36. It's almost 2 a game. It's not bad, guys. It's not bad. And then Gergensons leads all forwards with 30 hits in 19 games. Then Greenway with 28 in 19 games. Then Cousins comes in at... Oh, no, sorry. Eric Johnson comes in next. 19 games, only 22 hits with Eric Johnson. That's kind of concerning. Although he's played steady and everything, I got a feeling, believe it or not, that Granato's telling him he doesn't have to play as physical. I got a feeling he's telling him this. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but... And then Cousins is next, guys, with only 15 hits in 17 games. And we know Dylan Cousins has a mean streak. He doesn't even have a hit a game average. And yeah, I know he's been playing a bit hurt and stuff, but come on. You know, it doesn't make any sense, guys. You know, Tyson Jost, we know, plays with an edge. In 14 games, he has 12 hits. We have 9 guys on this team who only have 10 hits or more. Okposo, our captain, in 19 games has 9 hits and 0 goals. And he's a -1. I don't know. You tell me, guys. Should we accept this? Or is it really a problem? Am I too old school? I don't think so. I believe there's a certain way you win championships. And that's drive, determination, aggression. You have to have all of it. You can't have some of it. You have to have it all. If we don't have it all, where does it lead eventually? It leads us to wasting years of our life following this team that isn't headed to a Stanley Cup, because I believe we have the right pieces in place to eventually win a championship here. But do we have the right coach? This guy's got to get more like Joel Quenneville. And I don't want to start talking about the whole mess in Chicago. Those guys shouldn't even have Bedard right now. That's a whole other story. But we need a coach like that. We need a coach that's going to, you know, not let us rest on our laurels. We just can't. Because time is ticking by, and the next thing, you know what happens, guys? Years pass by, and nothing changes except our ages. That's it. Our age changes. That's one thing I can tell you with the Sabres is, if there's one constant thing that's changed over the last decades, my age. That's it. You know? So right now, I think the boys have the proper pieces in place. I think Adams has done a remarkable job as general manager. But he's going to have to get meaner and tougher if the rest of the ship is going to follow. Adams is the real leader, guys. He's the leader. Kevin Adams. Then under that is Granato. And then our captain. And then it spreads out after. If we don't have the proper 3 in place in succession, then where are we headed? We're not headed to a good place then. So I think, like, lack of physical play starts with Kevin Adams. Adams has to sit down Granato and say, look, we've got to play tougher. This team is too soft. Like, if they haven't had this conversation, then eventually all of them will get fired. And there won't be any glory years. This is an issue, guys, I think we have to jump on. And we have to jump on it this year to save this year. We're in a position now that physical play is evident that we don't have enough of it again. We'll see what happens. I'm going to leave it there. See you in the nightcap.